Hey, so I was recently having lunch with a good friend, and during that time, he asked me, Troy, how do you keep a peace of mind? Right? We have this global pandemic going on. People are working from home. Everyone is just stressed, right? They're worried about their families. They're worried about their friends. There just seems to be so much change and no end date in sight. And that's pretty jarring for a lot of us. It's jarring for me too, right? I'm not here to say that I'm out of the box, right? It's affecting all of us in so many different ways. But a few things that I share with him that I'll share with you is this. I said the first thing that helps, and this is beyond really the pandemic, is to have a sense of purpose, right? Know what your North Star is. Know what you're aiming for. Have an aim. Because having an aim, it allows you, among other things, to know your place in the world. It helps you get a sense of alignment in the world. So with everything going on, the ever-expansive activity, you know your place amongst that activity. So because I know what my purpose is and what I'm aiming for, I know which situations I should be in. I know which situations I shouldn't be in, which people I should be around, which people I shouldn't be around, etc., etc. So it's important to have a sense of purpose or a sense of aim. And I have some other videos that really go deeper into how to find that. But that's one thing that I think is important. Another thing, almost equally important, really just on a social level, is that I don't do a lot of gossiping, right? I can't sit here and say I've never gossiped, but I almost never gossip. Even my good friends, they might bring something up about a mutual friend. I tell them I don't want to know, right? Because I do look at the mind kind of like a computer, in that it can only hold so much active data at one time, and I try not to fill it with things that aren't helpful. And gossip generally isn't helpful. So I have regularly in the past told friends or just people I know, like, I don't want to know, don't tell me. And now they've been conditioned not to even bring up gossip around me. So that's another thing that I do that I highly recommend, because the last thing you need is someone saying, well, Troy said, and then that comes back to you, and then you got to go back and forth. Like, just stay clear of all that. So stay away from gossip. I know it gets exciting to know what's going on, but it's better for your life. Stay away from gossip. Another thing that I do is mind my triggers. I have a good sense, and again, this is a everyday thing, but I have a good sense of what triggers me for the positive and for the negative. And a lot of that stems from taking historical reflection of my moods, of situations I've been in, and what specifically offset that emotion, right? What created that emotion, and just kind of really keeping a mental and really a physical too. I've written this down, like a log of, what puts me in my best states, what doesn't, right? And that's really built in to my morning routine, which is why I highly recommend those. I would say another one is just auditing your circle. This really speaks to the gossip piece, knowing your triggers, because some people are triggers within themselves. So auditing your circle is important. Not all my friends are super peak performance individuals. Not all of them know their purpose in life, but I can say among all my friends, although they may not know their purpose, they're striving for it. So they are in many ways optimistic. And really, I think that's the key for me. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. But as long as you're optimistic and you're aiming for something, we can talk, right? So auditing your circle for those types of people is important. And the last thing is learning the power of saying no. I think that's very key as well. This really does go back to just knowing your place in the world, or having a purpose, and knowing what situations you should be in and which situations you shouldn't be in. And the one way really to guarantee that you are where you're supposed to be is knowing how to say no to things, right? When people like you, they'll always invite you out. They'll say, hey, come out and do this, or come out and do this. Or if you're already out, they'll say, hey, stay out later, or do something. Like, just understanding and having the power of no is just so important. And I think that I was very fortunate to develop that power very early, because I didn't drink until I finished college. So all throughout high school, college, I was always saying no to drinking, and in some cases going out. Although I did go out because I was still able to speak to people and I can have a good time. But that really helped me develop that muscle, because it really is a muscle. So that's something I highly recommend. It's just really knowing your purpose, knowing your North Star. not gossiping or keeping it to a minimum. Knowing your triggers, again, that's so important because it'll help you avoid a lot of situations, a lot of conversations you don't need. Another one is auditing your circle if you need to, right? Just have people that are optimistic, that are trying to improve their lives. If you use that as kind of a base, you should be okay. And last but not least, understanding the power of no, right? Learn how to stand firm in your no, and then people at some point soon, believe it or not, will respect it, and you'll have to say it less than you might think. So those are little 5 tidbits of advice that I share with my friend, and obviously I'm offering you as well. So let me know if you have any questions, and talk to you soon. Bye.